So all digital instrument cluster here, swipe here, and press drive modes, swiping over this way, or is it down here? I can't remember my car. So this is performance, chrome rings, minimalistic. You just kind of push this and you're back where you started. I'm Justin Pritchard. This is the Volvo S60 with the B5 engine. It is a luxury sedan with many strengths and a few weaknesses that we'll be digging into in this video and answering the question, is this the luxury road trip sedan that you need in 2022? After reviewing a lengthy run of SUV and pickup models, a recent road test of the 2022 Volvo S60 made the drive in this sedan feel extra refreshing. Despite their declining popularity, there's still nothing quite like driving a car. The S60's sleek skin is carefully tailored over its panels and wheels, themselves a set of optional triple-spoke diamond cuts wrapped in a low-profile tire. Drivers open the S60's door and drop deep down into the cabin, landing on a buttery soft sport bucket seat that'll likely be the best one they visit all day. I've noted excellent seats in Volvos for years, and on one particular day during this test, 6 combined hours of highway closures for accidents translated into 10 hours of nearly uninterrupted seat time, confirming this assessment. Even after half a day in these seats, my spine had no complaints. On the road, the S60 feels light on its feet, mostly effortless at the wheel, and easy going on your backside. You sit low, near the center of gravity, and in a position that sees you surrounded by the dash, not sitting up above it. It's all very anti-crossover in the way it looks and feels and surrounds you. It's a sufficiently roomy ride for 4 adults with good rear seat legroom and that unique feeling of hovering along down low, deep in the cabin, while you relax and socialize and stay connected on the move. Maybe while taking in some of the summer scenery in Northern Ontario without burning too much gas to do it. So if you spent much time driving a premium crossover lately and want to switch it up for something in a highly efficient premium sedan, be sure to take one of these for a test drive. I think that's especially true if you'll use your new S60 for a lot of highway miles and road trips. Me and my tester spent over 1,800 kilometers driving across a wide range of conditions and situations. Based on that experience, I've got some insights that I hope will help prospective shoppers confirm or question their choice and ultimately make a better purchase decision. My tester shipped with a highly fuel-efficient engine and generous cruising range, as well as a $3,700 Bowers & Wilkins stereo upgrade that often coaxes out a few extra trips around the block to enjoy a favorite song. Of the hundreds of car stereos I've spent hours testing on the open highway, this is one of the very best. The Volvo S60 B5 all-wheel drive R-Design opens at $52,750 with optional equipment and packages, including that audiophile stereo system, pushing my units as tested ask to a tick over $63,000. Off the bat, the relatively low ride height and sporty wheel and tire combo had me expecting a stiff and stressful drive on rough Northern Ontario highways and back roads. On these surfaces, many sporty sedans crash into bumps, jolt drivers and occupants, and exhibit high noise levels from the suspension and tires. My tester performed better than expected here, exhibiting plenty of carefully controlled suspension travel that tends to keep the body motions from getting too dramatic, as well as a carefully calibrated layer of softness to the initial action of the dampers that helps filter the brittle, crashing, and jarring sensations common in cars like these on very rough roads. The steering stays straight and stable over even the roughest of these, reducing driver workload. Noise levels from the suspension are elevated in this setting, though consistent. You hear the suspension doing its job, but the sound is generally muted and free of the louder pops, clanks, or smacks that I expect here. Here's some footage of the rear monospring suspension in action. This single rear leaf spring is an uncommon bit of suspension tech to see today, and I was happy to capture it on camera. So all said, on rough road surfaces where few vehicles do a very good job of maintaining ride comfort, my tester did a pretty good job of maintaining ride comfort. Keep your speed reasonable and you'll find an S60 like my tester to soak up most of the worst of the abuse with little fuss. The B5 engine is a unique configuration of Volvo's do-it-all 2-liter 4-cylinder deployed across all models with unique combinations of power adders and electrified components to serve up a variety of performance and efficiency levels. My tester's B5 engine ran a turbocharger and electrified mild hybrid system, basically a belt-driven motor generator attached to the engine that's fed power from a self-recharging battery. In addition to the turbocharger, this belt-integrated starter generator, or BSIG, boosts power and saves fuel at the same time, since it can switch on the fly from generating electricity for storage to applying stored electricity directly to the gas engine's crankshaft for an on-demand boost. The battery powering all of this self-recharges automatically while you drive, so if you can imagine a fuel-saving electric supercharger that makes its own electricity, you're in the right ballpark. Total output is 247 horsepower and 258 pounds of torque. The electric power boost is highly apparent at very low revs, where slight throttle inputs that barely register on most cars are met with a pleasing forward shove. While this type of mild hybrid can't drive the car solely on electric power, the direct electric boost makes it perfect for the light-footed driver since there's rarely a need to break 1500 revs in most situations. For just about everyone else, 2000 revs should be plenty 97% of the time. Opened up the powertrain response carefully, taking a moment to ensure a smooth downshift and keeping engine noise levels to a nicely muted growl that seeps in from the background as redline approaches. Acceleration is responsive thanks to that low RPM pulling power, though firepower-first drivers have numerous better choices for their dollar. The S60's exhaust emits a pleasing burble during full throttle upshifts, though opened up, this engine is more impressive for its smoothness and quietness, not its all-out pulling power, which is respectable but not thrilling. From the driver's seat, the electrification is all but invisible. Drivers will hardly notice a thing, other than the sharper low-rev throttle response, the distinctive lack of starter noise at engine startup, and a small battery recharging animation displayed whenever drivers brake as a reminder to stretch out stops and maximize recharging.
Now, mostly the electrified side of this powertrain is designed to just work invisibly in the background so that from here, behind the wheel, the driver doesn't really detect anything unusual going on. However, there are a couple of subtle signs that this is an electrified engine if you know what you're looking for. Now, the first of these is when you start the engine up. And what you'll notice is that there's no sound of a starter motor because, of course, in this type of hybrid, we've got that belt-integrated starter generator, or BSIG, which does the job of turning the engine over. The other subtle clue this S60 gives you in terms of its electrified engine is a little battery recharging icon right down there above the fuel gauge. It's a subtle reference that shows you it's not just gasoline but also electricity driving this car. Because of course, under braking, the belt-integrated starter generator is creating electricity to be stored in that battery. So the animation here is kind of the driver's signal to stretch out your stopping distances as much as possible to maximize recharging and minimize fuel use.
Despite its sporty R-design looks, my tester isn't likely to satisfy the driver after maximum thrills. There are no paddle shifters, the drive mode selector is buried within the touchscreen sub-menu, and on the windiest backroads I visited, I did wish for a little faster steering ratio so I could steer the car with my wrists, not my arms. If you're shopping in this universe but looking for a recommendation on a highly engaging and fuel-efficient sedan, consider also the Acura TLX, which I found to deliver a sharper and more eager handling feel and a more entertaining powertrain than the S60. The S60's new brake-by-wire system got a workout on my test drive so I could tell shoppers what to expect during panic stop situations. The braking system in my tester impressed with an eager initial bite and very strong panic stop performance, even with hot brakes. When applied with intent, the immediate and urgent bite from the brakes is eye-widening. If you're not shy with the pedal, it's very easy to engage a full ABS panic stop in a blink. Still, in the middle of the pedal's range, some drivers will find things to feel a little too numb, which makes the brakes easier to work smoothly but more vague to modulate. In panic stops, it's easy to sink that pedal to the bottom of its range of motion with a soft, light buildup of tension as the pedal maxes out. Now at this point, you're practically going through your seatbelt, but some drivers will wish for a stronger feel of tension and feedback from the pedal. All said, the performance of these brakes impresses more than how they feel. Ultimately, many of the S60's controls lean more towards smoothness than precision. It's a great match for the car's character, but enthusiast drivers may be left wishing for a stronger connection. During my test drive, I mostly appreciated my tester's generous highway cruising range, comfortable seats, cleanly styled cabin that's largely free of undue distraction, and mighty optional stereo system. At night, headlight performance is also exceptional with steerable beams that keep light pointed right where it's needed. Drivers can even slightly point the steering wheel to send more light in one direction or the other. New drivers can expect to quickly take confidence in this lighting system's ability to reduce eye strain after dark and to provide early warning of potential surprises. So if you're about to pull the trigger on one of these, let me sum it up this way. The S60 B5 R design is spirited and eager enough, but its real talents lie in its well-mannered drive, touring-ready suspension, and a stereo and lighting system that are sure to become some of your favorite new gadgets. For the light-footed driver after smooth, quiet, and efficient cruising over all-out reflexes and firepower, it's a particularly good setup that I'd call one of the best long-distance driving machines I've encountered this year, primarily for a refreshing, relaxing, and comfortable character on the road.
Well, thank you for watching. My name's Justin Pritchard. Don't forget to hit that like button down below if you learned something new. And until next time, take care and drive safe.